By now we've learned volume of a cylinder, which is something that looks like a can. You've learned the volume of a cone, which is something that looks like a cone. And you've learned volume of a sphere, which is a ball. And this is what we learned, or what my cousin taught you the other day when my cousin taught. I'm sorry that his calm demeanor and hate for everything around him depressed you guys too. But that's who he is, and he can't change, and my God doesn't make mistakes, so still, I'm sorry. All right, this is a sphere, and I am to find the volume of a sphere. Actually, it may not be a bad idea. Yep, you know what? I am going to do that. I'm going to get my calculator off to the side. So let me do this. Let me get my calculator. Let me go back here and click Stop Presenting, and then re-click the button that says Present, and then present a entire screen, and then click on that guy, and now things are as they should be in like 1 second. Bada bing. There you go. Look at that. That was a speed round. Okay. Let's go blue. All right, so over here we have the volume of a sphere. Bada bing. We have a sphere. That is my radius. So V equals 4/3 pi radius cubed. Well, 2 is my radius. So as I write this formula out, instead of r, I'm going to put in 2, and it's going to be 2 to the 3rd power. Let's plug that into our calculator. Parentheses, 4 divided by 3, parentheses. To get pi, you hit second, and then the little caret button. One more time. To get pi, you hit second, and then the little caret button. That's pi. Or you could type out 3.14. Parentheses, 2, close parentheses. To get cubed, you can hit math 3, or you can hit the little caret button 3. Either way, that's what you get. And the volume is going to be 33.51. And since it says inches cubed. Pretty exciting, huh? Today we're going to talk about composite solids, also known as compound solids. It's Exhibit, and he's saying, yo, dog, solid. Oh, Exhibit, X to the Z. What a fine rap guy. I will be able to find the volume of a composite solid and answer volume word problems. Composite solid, also known as a compound solid, is a... Hold on. Hold on, I want to write it out before I read it out. A composite solid is a combination of 2 or more solids. 2 solids glued together, or maybe there's a solid with a chunk missing from it, and the chunk missing from it is like a cone or something like that. A composite solid is a combination of 2 or more solids. This guy right here is a composite solid because it's a pyramid sitting on top of a rectangular prism. It's a pyramid sitting on top of a rectangular prism, and they share certain qualities. The bottom of this rectangular prism is the same as the bottom of the pyramid. So when I do measurements, a lot of times the measurements are going to be the same in certain areas because they're glued together. This looks like a house. Like if when you were making Legos when you were a kid and you made a Lego house, that's what this is. A very boring Lego house. It's composite solid. Let's remind ourselves of certain things. A cylinder is that formula pi r squared h. The cone is the same exact thing, but you put a 1/3 in front of it. A sphere we just did is 4/3 pi r cubed. And the volume of a rectangular prism is length times width times height. So that side times that side times that side. And I'll remind you of all of these, but first, let's watch a video! How did that handsome gentleman pull that entire problem off in one whole minute? He's a genius. Well, here's that same problem. Let's do it again, but let's slow it down a little bit. Okay, let's slow it down a little bit. The way we find the total volume of two shapes glued together is we pick one shape and find the volume. We pick the other shape, find the volume. Then we add those two shapes together if they're glued together, and that's what we have. So one shape that I have is cylinder. Cylinder. So I'm going to write out cylinder. That's an N. And another shape that I have is the rectangular prism. And so I'll put RP for rectangular prism. The box. So volume of a cylinder is V equals pi r squared h. So here's the cylinder right here. The cylinder is sitting on top of the box. 3 is my height because that's how tall this line is right there. 2 is my radius because it's the half of the circle. So my formula is now going to be V equals pi 2 squared 3. Pi 2 squared 3. I forgot the 2. What is pi times 2 squared times 3?
The answer is approximately 37.6991.
So we'll do 0.6991. 991. That's the volume of a cylinder. Centimeters cubed, but I'll wait until the very end to do that. We just found the volume of a cylinder. Not bad. We've done that so many times before. Hopefully you remember it well. The volume of a cube, or what is this? Not a cube. A rectangular prism is volume equals length times width times height. Now, in a prism, it doesn't matter which one you choose to be length or width or height. It doesn't matter. So we'll call you length, we'll call you width, and we'll call you height. It doesn't matter. And if you're like, well, height always has to be upside down or up and down. Well, what if I take this little box and move it sideways? Then what? It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter at all. So the length is 9. And again, I use the fancy cursive L so it doesn't look like the number 1. The width is 4. The height is 5. It's the worst 9 that I've ever drawn in my entire life. Let's try it again. I think in the video I said it was 180. So I have a cylinder and a rectangular prism glued together. So the total is going to be when I add these guys. So 37.6991 plus 180 was 217.691 centimeters cubed. Questions? So what I have is I have a cylinder, and on top of the cylinder I have a cone. If my memory serves me correctly, cylinder is V equals pi r squared h. So here's my cylinder. That is my cylinder. My height looks like it's 7. My radius looks like it's 3. So V equals pi 3 squared 7. I'm going to give you guys 60 seconds to type that out and put your answer in the chat. Miss Harris, I just saw your text. That's all right. We just did the same exact problem anyway, so it all worked out. Yeah, I'm sorry that you guys couldn't hear the volume on the video. I'm going to give you guys 45 seconds to type that out in your calculators, put it in the chat, and then hit enter whenever you're ready. Set a timer for 45 seconds.
Your timer is set for 45 seconds.
Also, I just want to make sure everybody's with me, so I'm sending you a video right about now. Close it immediately once you get it if you're paying attention. In about 10 seconds, I'll go over the rest of this problem. Who are my good listeners? Alexander's a good listener. Giselle's a good listener. Hanaya's a good listener. I'm sorry. Jaylene and Josh, you're my good listeners. And Jaden, you're a good listener. And Alyssa, you're a good listener. And Giselle, I don't know if I said your name yet. You're a good listener. Yeah. Some of you are not being good listeners, so I'm going to torment you throughout this video. All right, going back. I'm sorry, I forgot that you guys actually put this in the chat. Who put this in the chat for me? I got 197.92 by Alex twice. So is Alex right? Pi times 3 squared times 7.
The answer is approximately 197.92.
I love it, 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 I love it. Now the cone is this chunk up here. So that's V equals, remember the cone and the cylinder are the same exact formula, but the cone has a 1/3 living in front of it. So 1/3, that's a 1/3 pi r squared h. According to this guy, the cone has a height of 3, but where's the radius? Oh, I know. The radius of this circle is going to be the same radius of that circle because they're the same shape. A cylinder says the floor and the ceiling are exactly the same. So this radius is 3. So the height is 3 and the radius is 3. So V equals 1/3 pi 3 squared 3. And I would like you to type your answer in the chat again. Set a timer for 1 minute.
Okay, your timer is set for 1 minute.
Quiet. 1/3 times pi times 3 squared times 3.
The answer is approximately 28.2743.
Alexander the Great, indeed. Now, these two shapes are glued together. So what am I going to do? Add them up. So I have 197.92 plus 28.294 was 274. 197.92 plus 28.274.
It's 226.194.
And again, that's centimeters cubed. I have myself a cylinder. And I don't have a sphere. I have a half sphere, semisphere, if you will. If you will. Now, the cylinder has the formula V equals pi r squared h. Here's the thing. That is not my r. It's my diameter. So I have to say, forget you and turn you into a 6. So I'm going to give you guys 2 minutes to type your answer out in the chat. You are just going to do only the cylinder. Do only the cylinder part. Only the cylinder part. Set a timer for 2 minutes.
Your timer is set for 2 minutes.
Oh, welcome back, Mario. Alyssa, you and Marlena are one of you is off by one number, so you're probably one of you is probably right, and one of you probably just made a typo. That was right in my ear. Scared the jeepers out of me. Pi times 6 squared times 13.
The answer is approximately 1470.27.
1470.27. I forgive you. Now, you might remember from the other day with my extremely depressed cousin that if you want to find a half sphere, all you have to do is take the sphere formula, which is 4/3 pi r cubed, and then multiply it by a half. That's it. Or divide it by 2. What's my radius? Well, if my diameter is 12, then my radius is 6. So that's not that difficult. V equals 4/3 pi 6 cubed, and then times a 1/2. I'll give you 1 minute for you to give me that answer. 4/3 pi 6 cubed. 6 cubed. Remember, math 3 gives you 6 cubed and then times a half. Set a timer for 1.5 minutes.
Your timer is set for 1 minute and 30 seconds.
Yep, good. Alex is good. Now we add them up. 1,470.27 plus 5. Let's try it again. 1,470.27 plus 452.389.
It's 1,922.659.
Inches cubed. All right. All right. All right. Ugh. Okay. Let's skip to this word problem. By the way, if you're just dying to see what we're skipping, you have a cube and you subtract out the cone because you're pulling a cone out. So you would subtract the cone out. We're going to skip that one. A cylindrical hazardous waste container. So it's a cylinder. So let me draw a cylinder to the best of my ability. That's not bad. A cylindrical hazardous waste container has a diameter. Well, by golly, I don't care about diameter, do I? I care about the radius. And the diameter is 2 times the radius, which means in order to find the radius, I have to take half of this. And half of 1.5 is 0.75. But let me double check. What's half of 1.5? It's 0.75. Well, she didn't answer. So it's 0.75. That's what I care about, boys and girls. Oh, and the height is 1.6 feet. All right, so this is a cylinder. So V equals pi r squared h. And I'm going to quick make sure everybody's paying attention so you know what's going to happen. Get your X buttons ready. Get your X buttons ready. Get your X buttons ready. Who's fast? Ooh, Arlene fast. Alex fast. Daniel fast. Eunice fast. Eileen fast. Giselle fast. And others. Yeah, you guys are in good shape. All right. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to find the volume using these measurements. That's 0.75 and 1.6. 2 minutes. And I'm going to make a poll. I'm going to make a poll. Don't type it out. I'm going to make a poll. Go. Set a timer for 2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes and counting.
Polls ready. Quick, put your answer in if you have it. Okay. Right. So that's my radius. That's my height. Volume equals pi times radius, which is 0.75 squared times my height, which is 1.6. Pi times 0.75 squared times 1.6.
The answer is 2.82743.
Now here's the thing. That's feet. They want me to turn that into gallons. How do I do that? Well, I multiply that many feet cubed times 7.5. So 2.82743 times 7.5. 2.82743 times 7.5.
The answer is about 21.2057.
And that would be gallons, my babies. We have just enough time for one more. Maybe two. The inside of each glass is shaped like a cone. What glass can hold more liquid and how much more? So this is what I have to do. Each glass is a cone. I need to find out which one can hold more liquid and how much more. So I have glass A. Now, I don't think I have time to give you guys the opportunity to do it, so make sure you're following along. I have glass A. Okay. Glass A is a cone. So V equals 1/3 pi r squared h. So the height is 8. The radius is 4. So V equals 1/3 pi. Radius is 4. 4 squared. H is 8. 1/3 times pi times 4 squared times 8.
The answer is approximately 134.041.
And that's centimeters cubed. Glass B is also a cone. V equals 1/3 pi r squared h. 3 is my r, 10 is my h. So V equals 1/3 pi. R squared is 3 squared. 3 squared. H is 10. Wow. 1/3 times pi times 3 squared times 10. 1/3 times pi times 3 squared times 10.
The answer is approximately 94.2478.
Now the question is, which glass can hold more liquid? A can. How much more? Well, I have to subtract. So 134.041 minus 94.2478.
It's 39.7932.
I missed that. Glass A can, oh, you know what? That'll help. Can hold. Wow. This is really bad. Oh, I lost it. 134.041 minus 94.2478.
The answer is 39.7932.
Okay. Centimeters cubed. Okay, so that'll do it for today. That'll do it for today. Yeah, I think we're out of time. We're pretty much out of time. I'm gonna stop recording.